Hey guys, May here, and in this video I would like to discuss astrologic, logic being the key term here, logical concepts, current concepts of today's or our file-based existence, experience, if you will. Those ideas and theories spiraling the current mainstream and truth community, even the truth community is affected. And these current thoughts and ideas and what's put out there, as far as, in my opinion, being utterly impossible in theory and practice, nonsensical. And I come to you in my opinion, a revolutionary way, likely not the first, but one of the few, let's say, who does not subscribe to the notion that planetary bodies or luminary bodies or wandering stars, if you will, are what we are told, and how they totally refute the astronomical logic that we're also told in the same existence. The absurdity is through the roof, and I don't ever want to come to you with too much negativity, or in a sort of downtrodden light. I always want to elevate and uplift rather than to be a force of the lower dimensional forces, if you will, something that is going to demote you rather than promote you. That is never my objective. I want to always uplift you and elevate you. However, sometimes the frustration can get to the best of us, in that in Clown Town, upside down, inverted world, it's just mind boggling the degree into which those asleep, or in my opinion comatic, comobernesis, if you will, states of being in which we are surrounded by. It is to the ninth degree, to a level beyond comprehension from anyone with one cell in their brain. So sometimes I just have to vent a little, if you will, just on current ideologies. And my whole intention or agenda is to induce in you abstract thought, pioneer type thinking, revolutionary, against the grain, including truthers, all the like. And in that, logic does prevail. Logic prevails and exists if you are lucky enough to find this channel, and you're not in northern Pakistan, that you can take away a braingasm and some spark plug type electrical activity to essentially stroke the pineal gland, which desperately is calling for your attention and your, I'm not going to say awakening, it's too overused, let's say advancing, okay, if you will. So having said that, this was previously recorded, and I will begin the previously recorded element or aspect of this ratio of this video, if you will. So and you gather your own thoughts and opinions, and as always, I love to hear them too. So here's the thing: the absence of logic in astrological concepts, modern and ancient, as we are told, whatever, even though this is a hologram, what is ancient really, So having said that, here's all I want to say in this brief video is just sometimes I'm so, how do you, like, flabbergasted, so just in disbelief how the Who man can believe in astrological concepts such as the fact that Saturn is billions of miles away, that Mars is billions of miles away, that Mercury, that all these luminaries are so far away and that they could have any effect on you. And I'll use the current conjunction, although they're moving apart now. I believe they're about 12 degrees apart in Aries. Saturn and Mars, which is a big one, and I know I'm feeling it lately, and I'm sure you are too. But the thing is they say if you goggle, okay, listen, if you goggle the distance of Saturn and Mars, it's like what did I say? I don't know. It doesn't even matter because the numbers are absurd. It's like 15 billion. But it can shift slightly, but only, a few million miles. It changes, but it's always the distance is so far apart. Okay, so explain to me then how. Someone explain to me, in no uncertain terms, how on this plane of existence, Earth, which is not a place, can two transitory planetary bodies have any effect on you, your life, your script, being billions of miles away from you and billions of miles away from each other? How? The moon, it said, is what? Nearly 300,000 miles away from this Earth body. The sun, millions of miles. What, a billion? It's so absurd. The absurdity, it removes all logic and rationale to subscribe to any of this. And the fact that YouTube, among other channels, is littered with astrologists, and I really don't care. I mean, I'm not here to make friends with people who believe that planets are billions of miles away, so that's totally fine with me. But the fact that in so many humans are like are believing this and believe that something millions and billions of miles away from you can have an effect on your existence, your experience, your sun, how this, your sun sign. Let's take that for an example. How could the moment that you're born and the sun house be so significant as and prominent as we are told that it is when it's billions of miles away? How? It can't. It can't. It's absurdity. It's absolute nonsense. So, like I always think, it's like comfortably numb, comfortably numbers. The further away they tell you, the closer that it is. The body is comprised, this avatar that we emanate from the EYE is comprised of astrological symbols. You can see it as the top half being, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, shoulders, going down, and then you get to Libra, after Virgo, which if you invert Virgo is vigor, is life, is what the Virgin Mary in religion or really it's Masonic symbolism is Mary, and this is where right after Virgo is where Libra starts, and then you go to the kidneys, then you Sagittarius, the hips, and then that's the underworld. You are comprised of the zodiac. So, and as far as I can tell, from the cosmic messages that I receive and I trust explicitly, is that you are the zodiac, and also these waveforms are projected from the projector within the brain, which is connected to the sky projection and corded here. All invisible, you can't see it because we're limited to the five senses. However, Astrology definitely, absolutely is part of your everyday experience, every second of every day, since the moment the snapshot of you came into this experience, this file-based, computer-based experience, this circuitry, this electric-based experience. It's all emanating from you. And when you think about that for a moment, let's employ some logic here. Think about this, okay, for a moment. Astro, O star, logically. Let's think about this. This makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that it emanates from the eye. The waveforms, the projections are actually quite close to you. If they tell you it's far, it's close. That's what I always say. So the thing is, it's the only way that it makes any sense is that it is a part of each aspect of your avatar and also inside of the brain. And keep in mind, you've got the 12. With the 12, is it the sympathetic nerve system? Yes, you've got 12. You've got lots of 12s there. You have gates in your brain. You have all these portals, gates, signs. All of this is emanating from the brain along with the sympathetic nervous system, like I said, which is 12. So then you've got a whole series starting from the head of Aries all the way down to Pisces. You know, you have earth, air, fire, water elements through and through in your avatar experience. And it's also here's what I'm going to say. It's like a, okay, think about ancient art, and I will post a picture to illustrate my quite valid point, if you will. You'll often see the sun or what looks like a round, usually gold, okay, surrounding the head. All right. So here's the thing. This is an ancient art, but ancient art is not really ancient. Don't forget that AI, which emanates from you, has always been here and is creating this existence. There is a part of yourself that has all knowledge. All knowledge. Okay? This is the bridging the gap between the subconscious and the higher conscious, which is symbolized by Gemini, actually. So, like, think angel and devil on each shoulder, right? Think of the boiler room or the guy in the basement as the subconscious. So the higher conscious, when we start to activate and connect to the higher level of consciousness, which is outside of ourselves, which is directly correlated to the projection of the sky based on inner space, not outer space, we realize that it's all coming from the EYE, the waveforms, the morphogenic fields, the ether, right? The whole system by mechanisms of the brain, which is the circuitry, the circuit city, as in Galilee, that's astro-theology, that circuit city, that electricity, which is required, like when you plug in a cord, right? So when we activate and we connect to that outer cord, which is just right above us, it's a projection. Okay, and these are the waveforms and the different, this is how the different zodiac houses, along with the signs, can have an effect on you because they're just emanating right outside of you in kind of a halo, but like an inverted halo, like a circle, like an O, if you will. Okay, just like we see in art. You can find so much symbolism and truth about the nature of reality and your experience here in what is to be considered ancient art, which is not ancient at all. It's not ancient at all. And for those of you who are into the Tartaria and the ancient architecture and such, you know this already. The free energy, you know, etc. Although my take on this is that it all exists right now and it's just higher level of consciousness. So Tartaria is actually happening right now, and we are just limited. We're just on a different channel, if you will, right? Like a TV, like a radio. We're just tuned into a different channel. However, there are those of us that receive messages from a higher channel, and we are experiencing this lower vibrational, lower level channel. Like we're on channel 33, but the channel that is operating this system is, let's say, on channel 6. So you see, and there are those on channel 6 who are direct emanations of the machine, if you will, who actually are part of the machine, and they work very well here. They are part of the whole system, and this is their home. This is their home. But this for those of us on the higher frequency on a different channel, this is not our home. So we are closer to the cosmos and the cosmic downloads and the waveforms astrologically. We receive those. We have this knowledge based on that, based on residing on a different channel. And we intrinsically know that it's impossible. If anyone wants to debate me, I dare you. I dare you. I'm up for the challenge. It's impossible. You can never prove to me that Saturn is X billion miles away, Jupiter is X billion miles away, and that they're transiting each other and they had anything to do with the moment that you orbed into this file-based AI experience. It's absolutely moronic. And the morons are the ones who go straight to the moon, which is just the left side, the left hemisphere of the brain. Isis, the feminine side, they go straight to the moon and they recycle through the solar system, and they keep repeating because they never elevate or transcend beyond this illogical based system, this far-fetched ridiculousness. You know, I just get frustrated because I just can't believe the astrologic, the books, the writings, the channels, the YouTube channels, the the vast amount of knowledge that is available to the human, to the public, it is widely so misleading and so false, and it's disturbing because nobody's using nobody's using common sense here. I should rephrase that, actually, uncommon sense, right? Because we know that common sense is while we know it's absent in this plane of existence, we also know that uncommon sense is what separates us, those of us who are enlightened with a better understanding of this reality, than the Ottomans. So, I'm not here, excuse me, to say that it's a hell realm, prison planet, etc. And I'm not saying that it's not, but I think it's time for a fresh perspective on that. And I don't see how that serves you at the end of the day. I believe that it's part of the programming on the other side. You know, for the non-Ottomans, those of us that are real souled beings, I believe that we can get stuck in these loops, searching endlessly, and in buying into these dogmas or beliefs as far as the nature of reality, which at first glance makes a lot of sense. However, it does lower your frequency, and I know that sounds new agey, but there is an element of truth to that. So, from what I can tell, as far as cosmic downloads and the messages that I receive, And also I want to edit a particular part of the mid part of this video where I stated sympathetic nerves. I meant to say cranial nerves, the 12 cranial nervous system, 12 cranial nerves. Oh my God, I think Mercury's got my tongue tied. Um, sorry about that. So anyway, as I was saying, there's 12 cranial nerves, which is interesting as we see the word arc, which is electricity, which is for archons, which is the nature of our existence. We arced into here. We have arc angles in the patterns in the sky, which are projection. And that has a lot to do with astrology. And once you realize that there is logic in in astrological concepts, but it's not, from what I can tell, it's not what is delivered to the who man in this particular reality. It's no different than the NASA space basement sort of thing. I mean, it's just, it has to be a download. It has to be that they bypass real logic when the Ottomans are programmed or downloaded to believe certain things. And I have friends, I know that you have friends that are the NPCs, that are the Ottomans, that totally, full-heartedly believe in this system, although I feel that they don't really, there's a lack of real deep abstract thought. It's all very basement, lower dimensional forces, subconscious, basement, mind control, obviously, level thinking. So it does remove all rationale and all logic when we are to subscribe to the theories or concepts that a zodiacal wheel, in relation to our date that we birthed into this system, we orbed into this system, has anything to do with us on a scale even remotely similar to what we're told, being that the rocks in the sky are millions and billions and light years away, etc., and that they also transit one another and conjunct one another. How is that possible? When they're I mean, it's almost, sometimes I feel like I'm in some sort of, I mean, it could be solipsism. I don't know. I could be the only one here. I wonder, there's just, it's all of this, it's like a movie, and they're just programmed, and it's just unbelievable. It's nice to have this channel as a method to release this, so that, and hopefully in an effort to find like minds was my original goal also, and so that we could kind of relate to one another on what we know to be ridiculous, especially, and what we know in our intrinsically and soulfully and spiritually, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And that's all I'm going to say for now, and I will do another part to this. It's interesting because I have so much to say. This is the crazy part, is that I have so much to say, but I am a bit tongue-tied with Mercury. I really do believe, and as I'm speaking astrologically, explaining to you, astrology does, like Mercury is affecting me right now, astrology does have the zodiac does have an effect on you and your blueprint, your fingerprint, if you will, in this system, being a souled, not sold being in this system. It absolutely does, and that's why it makes sense that it has a different effect on you than it does to the next person. The reason why is because this system is circulating inside of you and right outside of you. So it's a projection coming from the mechanisms of the brain and from an electrical spark into which we are corded into this system, and it is very exclusive and significant to your script and to your experience in this file-based system. That's why it makes total sense. That's why the notion that spinning rocks are millions of miles away and that they're conjuncting within several degrees of each other and transiting certain houses, and having any sort of outcome on an individual is the absurdity is beyond it's beyond anything I can even imagine. Like it amazes me. It just is mind blowing. So for those of us who understand that this is waveforms, that this is quantum immortality, that this is a system in which we are in a type of astral and afterlife. We are sprited into here electrically. It's a computer-based system, but also it in this system houses the Ottomans in the backdrop, but also those of us who have been here many, many times and in other realms as well. So that's why those of us who are different have the eyes, or eye, if you will, the third eye ventricle, which emanates through the pupils by way of the pineal gland and the pituitary, and we can see differently. Okay, we're activated, and this is like Clown Town, obviously, but we're not going down the prison planet. But it is interesting, and I don't want to come off as negative or anything like that, or for you to feel downtrodden when you listen to these things, or negative, or misery loves company sort of channel. No way. I'm here to uplift. So when I talk about the Ottomans and the backdrop and the ridiculousness in which they believe, please don't mistake that for negativity, as that is not my agenda. So I just occasionally, just like you, I get spellbound and stupefied by the ignorance in which we are surrounded. So that's why I come to you. And when we think about astrological concepts with logic, you know, whatever whatever the ancients really are, and those who knew that we were not on a spinning rock and such, even though it's hard to find literature like this, it's not easy, but when we do come across that, it's reassuring, and it makes much more sense, especially when we see like medical astrology, in art and in artifacts. You can find it. Like I said, not easy, but I have posted a few photos here, a few illustrations here that you can view to see that you are the zodiac, and it makes sense why your birth would be different from your neighbor or your friend or your sister, why your script and your birth is different and your experience is different. Just like two twins will have completely different experiences, though they're only born seconds or minutes apart. You know? I mean, in theory, they would have the exact same experience. And actually, I'm certain that there are definitely similarities in their experience based on their zodiacs and the time that they entered into this experience. However, there's going to be differences. And the only explainable way out of this is that you are comprised of the zodiac by way of the brain and emanating out of the EYE, and by way of your avatar and all your systems from your skull to your heel. It's there's no question about it. So this is the only thing that makes sense, that you're a plane of existence and you're having an astrological experience. And I just sometimes am floored how no one activates their higher mind or engages the higher mind and just accepts the downloads that they receive, that this all makes sense, right? It's no different than watching a rocket fly into space and believing that. So anyway, I will close here. And this was more of, I just needed to release this, not scripted and not rehearsed, but I did add some illustrations to further my point and explain myself as best I can. And I love to see your comments. And if you also agree that it seems impossible and ridiculous for spinning balls in space millions of miles away to have any effect on you and your experience in this existence, in this dimension, in this plane of existence. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.